Welcome to the Air Moon Eris channel. Today we have a reading, the first one in a couple of weeks. We have 3 piles for you to choose from today. We have group 1 with the Tourmaline Quartz, Black Moonstone, Apophyllite and the Elite Shungite. We have group 2 with the Pistachio Calcite, the Polychrome Jasper, the Blue Apatite and the Mookaite Jasper. And we have group 3 with the Alethea card, the Caribbean Calcite, the Peach Moonstone. I believe this is Chrysoprase. Actually, this might be Aquamarine. I'll see if I can find out in the meantime. Blue Onyx and green Calcite. So you can take a moment to sit with the energy, close your eyes, see how you feel. Maybe taking a couple of deeper breaths will help you sort of anchor into the moment and see how you feel. And timestamps are in the description box so that you can jump ahead. Keep in mind that these readings are general readings only. They are very different to a personal reading, so it is worthwhile making sure that we're not trying to make anything fit here that doesn't actually apply to our situation, rather that we use it as a source of confirmation for ourselves for things that we already had like a deeper inner knowing within us. Okay, so moving on, we'll start with group 1. Okay, welcome group 1 to today's reading. Today's reading is just like a general message from spirit, or just, you know, whatever needs to come through. It's, I guess, a sort of spontaneous one. The card that we have for you is the Healer, and the crystals, we had Apophyllite, the Elite Shungite, the Tourmaline Quartz and the Black Moonstone. Before I kick off with the reading, I should probably mention a few like little random things, and this may be just for people across all of the 3 groups, so it may not be as specific for everybody in this one particular pile. We had a happy birthday balloon blow into the yard this morning, but it felt like very significant, like it was not something I would normally mention in one of these readings, but it felt like it needed to be. So maybe there's a happy birthday here going out to someone watching today's reading. Anyway, the next thing is the song Sweetheart by Newling. I'll mention it under the timestamp for this group just so that you can check it if you want to go ahead and listen to it. May resonate, you know, there may be some sort of like messages in the lyrics of that song, or it may be a song that you like, or it may just be matching the energy of like where you're at or something going on at the moment for you. But I had like a lot of like, I don't know how to explain it, like pent up punchy energy that it was almost like I needed to use, like, I can't remember how to pronounce it, like catharsis, where it's kind of like the acts of like physically, I don't know how to explain it, because it was sort of like I just had a lot of pent up energy that I wanted to get out, and physical movement was really good for it. And I don't know, like for some of you it may be like boxing. I know sometimes people go like axe throwing, or they go to those places that you can smash plates and stuff. I don't know, maybe, yeah, I don't know what you do, but it's like being embodied, being in your body, using physical movement. Maybe you just go for a run, but you like really get into the run and you're just really in your body, in your energy, and it's really good. I wonder if for some of you, you've randomly or all of a sudden had a chance to be more grounded than you probably have for a while. I feel like the heart space is pretty well open. If anything, there's probably like a need to work on like the root chakra and the solar plexus, but that's okay. We'll get into that if that's a thing. Anything else? No, okay, cool. So the first thing that I wanted to say, so there's like a few things here in this that I'm already seeing that we haven't actually taken any cards for yet. And I guess there's elements of like having like a strong connection to like your intuition or to the divine or the universe or something like that. An element of like needing protection and sort of like shielded grounding. Like there's I think like whoever's in your spirit team as per se is helping keep you shielded from something at the moment, and it's probably a time where you would actually really need it. Like there might be some heavier stuff going on, or it, yeah, I'm not sure, but anyway. Tourmalinated quartz, like tourmaline itself can be quite a protective stone, and quartz has that ability to like really amplify things as well, or provide like clarity within whatever situation. So and then just like a very strong third eye connection as well. But it's not just like mindless third eye connection that's like, oh, I want to open my third eye and let's just like let anything and everything come in. It's like, this is like discernment. This is like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like, I see you coming. I have faith in the universe. I'm grounded within myself. I understand some of what's out there. I'm grounded enough to be open to the experiences that the universe provides, and to know that there is like an element of I've got my own back or something like that. It's a bit, not really sure. So that was more of like what turned into like an intuitive message rather than what the stone itself is probably usually known for. But I don't know if any of you can see it. I might actually just hold them all up closer to the camera so you can look. Sometimes I'm not aware, sometimes I have terrible lighting and sometimes I forget to do it, but I didn't realize this stone's got like a beautiful flash on it. Let's see if we can catch it there. That's what we want. That's really nice. There's like something really wild going on under the surface that's like really magical, and it's like, I reckon people aren't gonna know or notice it unless they actually spent the time getting to know you. And this could go for you too. It could be the other way around. See if I can block that glare off the actual... Jeez, it's going to be too dark. All right, we'll just leave it. You get the point. But I don't know. Maybe some of you are being too impatient with yourself or not spending the time needed to actually get to know yourself or develop your... lean into your practices or something like that. Like there's a sense of... needing to take time for yourself. But anyway, yeah, so that's the black moonstone, and I absolutely love it. And it was not one that I was drawn to initially, but it's become a like staple for me. Okay, anyway, so just so we can see what it looks like. See, I wonder how close we can get it without making it go fuzzy. Yeah, tourmaline in quartz anyway. And that's the elite Shungite. I believe it just has like a higher carbon content than like the standard Shungite, and I think that's the only difference. I don't know if you'd necessarily call it like a crystal scientifically. I actually have never looked into it, but they're all the same to me in a sense in that regard. And this is the Apophyllite, which is really, has like really beautiful formations and striations on it, but it also, I don't know if it's like a little bit of zeolite or something on the end there. It's got like a really, the prettiest like almost iridescent sheen. No, iridescent's the wrong word. It's kind of like a shimmer in it. Anyway, enough of that. Cool. So the next thing that I want to talk about is, I think I'm not sure. I feel like there may have been some heavy energies around, but I actually feel quite grounded and I feel quite clear for once, so that's always nice. And I did use like the Palo Santo at the start, so that actually might be a bit of a message in itself for some of you if you found that you noticed your own energy calm a little bit when I used it. That might be something that's helpful because it is actually quite clearing and grounding. Anyway, so the next thing here that we've got is the healer. So some of you could be people in the community that have like that, you know, are known as a healer in some way or another. I actually think this is just like a really deep time for healing as well. There's two things happening here. I've got like an archetype of a healer, and I've got a whole bunch of people that need a whole lot of healing. And at this stage, it could be like a bit of a, you know, mix. Like it could be both, right? Quite often, I think sometimes the reason why people that are known as like healers are actually, you know, depending on what you're talking about, but sometimes the reason why they're good is because they've actually had a lot of experience, you know, working through a lot of things themselves. So depending what realm they work in. And, you know, even if it's not that whole, the journey that they've walked, maybe they just have a lot of experience helping other people or something like that. So, yeah, only take what fits your circumstance. But I've also got something here about like the number 3. And it's sort of like that saying, it's like the worst because I record on my phone, so I can't ever Google anything. If I want to like confirm or clarify something I'm getting come through like on Google, you think they would just give it to me in a way that was like clear and exactly what it needed to be, but sometimes I lose the connection a little bit as well. It's basically that saying of something about like once bitten, oh my god, I don't know. It's kind of like not a big deal, right? Like, you know, up to chance that can generally happen, but like, what was it, once, no, twice shy. I don't know. I feel really mumbled around it. If, for those of you who know that saying, you'll already know what I'm talking about, and I apologize. I'm not sure why it's not coming out, but yeah, anyway. There's basically like what I'm trying to say, there's like a concept around like, you know, the more times that things happen in life, or like repeated lessons or repeated events that, I don't know, maybe they're like traumatic, or maybe they weren't traumatic. Maybe they sort of started out as just like an unfortunate event, and then over time that same event reoccurred throughout different scenarios and people or something like that. And that basically the more times that it repeated, maybe it did eventually end up having some strong level of effect on you, where actually initially maybe you took a hit to the ego, and then it eventually actually started going deeper and deeper into a sense of like eating into a sense of like your security or belonging within the world, something like that. Maybe like a level of just feeling safe when you like operate in the day-to-day, something like that. And I don't know what it is. I used to have dreams, and it was like the most bizarre thing because I used to have the same dream on repeat, and it was just like a sporadic thing that would happen, but it was the exact same one. And I would be in like, you know, one scene, say it was like a backyard, and under like a playground, under a slide, like a kid's slide, there would be like a little egg, and I'd like bend down to like go look at the egg, and then all of a sudden it starts cracking open and a snake starts like coming out of the egg, and then the scene changes, the scenery. So like all of a sudden I'm not in the backyard looking under the slide at the snake coming out of the egg. All of a sudden I'm like somewhere else, but it's like the same thing that happens in every scene. So it's like I'm in a different place or with different people or something like that, and then all of a sudden there's a new snake coming out of a new egg. And they're just like, I don't even understand what it was. And I had these dreams when I was like quite young as well, so I didn't really have any level of like trying to attach some sort of like higher meaning to them or anything like that, other than it was the most surreal, bizarre experience. Like if I could take a USB, like a memory stick, and put it in my brain and like download the memory and give it to you so that you could experience it, I would, because it was just the weirdest thing. Anyway, so all of these bits of pieces that I'm coming out with, even if they are partly my own experience, there's going to be certain little things in each of them, even if it's not all of them, for every person here, that are going to help build towards something here. And I just don't know what it is yet. So anyway, I'm just going to take a moment and see if I can get anything else with this card before we move on. This is a bizarre message, so I'm getting something about like anything you do to me is with me. No, was it within me? And near to me. I'm not really sure. And dear to me. Okay, so it's kind of a case of there could be like potential elements of letting really internalizing other people's behavior towards ourselves, and maybe accepting subpar behavior, not even subpar, just downright not good behavior from other people in like order to seek acceptance or love, or maybe even you know, there's like people talk about like the fight flight responses. There's also the fawning response, and sometimes fawning could be, sometimes I don't know, because I think that there's a few of them as well. So there's flocking. Like I haven't done a lot, I haven't looked into any of this stuff in a long time, okay? So it's just kind of like, I can't remember, you know, the exacts of what one's called what, so you can go have a look like and search on the internet if it's something that you're interested in. But basically there's ones where, you know, you're put in a threatening situation of some kind, and you might choose to fight in whatever way that looks. You might choose to flight, so you might choose to like leave whatever the situation is somehow to try to like avoid it. You can, I guess, try to appease a person. Like you can just try to like work in with them or show them that you're like going to cooperate or something like that. And there could also be like one where you sort of like play dumb a little bit, where you like pretend like you don't really know what's going on, because if you don't really know what's going on, then you can't be a threat back to them to sort of like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like if they don't realize that you know, then you might buy yourself more time to get away or something like that. Anyway, I'm sure there's more to it. I'm sure there's like technical ways that they've said it. It's something you should definitely go look into for yourself. Don't just take my word for it, especially because it's just my own version of what I've taken in. Okay, so now that we've got those concepts out of the way, just for some of you, I'm just going to say it, like I feel like some of you are just surrounded by snakes, and if you're not now, you have been before, you know, maybe at different points in life. Maybe it's, I don't know, I didn't want to say it was like 3 specific snakes because there is 3 there, but there's like 3 levels to this. So maybe it's not 3 people, maybe there's like 3 experiences or something with the same person. I'm not sure. Well, I'll see if I can get something else towards it. Maybe when you were 25, that's not going to be for everyone. Maybe like the number 25 is significant for some reason. So maybe not when you were 25, could be something like 25 years ago, or it could be something like on the 25th of a certain month or something like that. Or for some of you, you'll be stepping into more of, maybe you've been having like rough experiences and you'll be stepping into more of like a healing state. Whether that's towards yourself or others in like the year of 2025. So that's something to come next year. I actually think some of you may have like clairvoyance, like that clear seeing where you get your own seeing, whether it's through your mind's eye or third eye or something that you physically see. I think for most of you it's probably your mind's eye, where you get your own visions. or you're seeing things, whether it doesn't have to be a vision, it could be a dream, it could be like almost an imaginative experience that's not really your imagination, for those of you who might be newer to it. There's like an essence, I think for a lot of you it might actually be dreams. Maybe some of you have been having weird dreams. Maybe not even like weird dreams, but they're just dreams that leave you absolutely like, I don't even know what that was. You just, yeah. Like another world or otherworldly. Yeah, okay. I don't know, there's also something here about like the wisdom in your experiences and whatnot is kind of like, it's like the pearl of, I don't know what, it's like everyone has experiences in life and they're not all good, and almost I don't know, everyone does have not great life experiences at some point in time, right, throughout their lives, so that's bound to happen. And how we handle the situations at hand is really us doing the best we can with what we've got in front of us. And I feel like there's probably been a lot of you here that probably didn't have a lot to actually rely on, and you still managed to like really make some, like, I don't know, kind of, I think to you, you would think, yeah, this happened and it was rough as, and I had to like fight to get myself out of that situation, but I did it and I've learnt from it and I know better. It's like you became the gem. It's like you were the thing that was like, you know, the diamond, the gem, whatever you want to say. Like, it's like you were the person that, I don't know, like you had all the pressures applied in all the ways that could have broke you, and it actually turned you into like a beacon. It's like given you wisdom and light in a way. There's like insight here, there's depth of insight. So you might understand things that other people don't, and it might be a little bit disorientating when other people don't, because it could be isolating or maybe make you feel like you're like looking into things too much or something. Yeah, don't doubt yourself. If anything, this is like a message for you to like get really strong in your stance and have confidence in who you are and your experiences, and knowing who you are as a person. At the end of the day, regardless of what other people do around you, like when you stand with your feet on the bare earth, like, you know, you are you. There was also something that I was getting before I actually started the reading. When I was doing like an energy clearing, I was sort of outside, and I'm lucky enough that where I live, I've got like a lot of trees around and stuff. So it's pretty close to being in a nature setting in my backyard. And there's like a yogi squat that you can do, where you're squatting and it's kind of like hands together, like in the prayer position against your heart. And if you're already, I guess, if you're feeling insecure, if you feel like you're having trouble standing on your own feet or your own 2 feet, or you're feeling, I don't know, it could be like insecure within your like position on the earth, within your family, friends, anything, who you are as a person. Maybe you're like really questioning everything or something like that, I'm not sure. It's a good way to get really strong in your foundation and your connection to the earth, is take a moment, clear your energy, and go do a yogi squat in the yard or something. See, I don't know, look, these things don't work for everyone, Sometimes they don't work every time, so it might be something that you try this time and it doesn't work, and maybe in a couple of weeks time you get desperate and you give it a go again and it does work. So all you can do is try and see if it helps, and for those of you it does help, then you know it'll probably help you with a lot of other stuff too. Anyway, okay, that's enough of everything that I've got here for now. So we're going to do take some tarot cards. I had to mention today too about the jade elephant, and normally when I work with jade I don't really think of it like, I guess it's a stone that's like known as being like a lucky stone, and today I'm getting a lot of that energy that there's like luck, there's some sort of luck coming in for you guys. So I would just embrace it. Hey, don't question it. I know sometimes there's that whole, you know, is this going to be too good to be true and whatnot, but something really lucky is like coming in. So yeah, be interesting. But anyway, okay, so I'm just gonna move that one over there. For some of you, I do wonder if you do actually like energy healing or something like that, just because of the like working with chakras and different energy layers and bodies, and crystal healing, aura healing. We're not, no. It's just, sorry. There's like a difference between me just fumbling cards and when they sort of come out on their own accord. So we'll try again. There we go. Okay, this actually was one of the cards that did face up at one point. The Star. Yeah. Just straight away getting something about you guys having a dream. So whether this is a dream you've had or like a dream that you have for yourself for the future, like I wonder for this group if you actually want to be more deeply connected to the universe than you are, or you already have like a really deep connection. There's something like that. For those of you that don't feel like that might be the case, I wonder if it's something that sort of caught your intrigue and you wonder whether this stuff is real or not. But in saying that, I guess unless you're like new to pick a cards and whatnot, then yeah, I don't know. I guess the world works in mysterious ways or wonderful ways. So we'll see. There's something for some of you that this dream is like built on a bedrock of like eroding land. The thing is that's holding it all together is like the really strong trees, and I feel like it's kind of, how do I explain it? Like maybe the foundation in which you had as like a child or a young adult, or the foundation in which you've built your life around. I don't know, like part of me wants to say it's clay. Part of me wants to say that part of it is actually like extremely like, you know, what would make a good foundation. So it would be like really compact and really dense and really solid, and has enough flex that it's not just going to shatter and all of that stuff. The other side of it is that I think there's like pockets of sand or like normal dirt or something in it. So it's like, even though you've got a lot of the key elements for the foundation right, there's things in there that will, if they haven't already, will catch you out somehow. And it's kind of like it's all eroding away or washing away, and you're the person keeping it all together. It's like that really holding on. It's kind of like Four of Pentacles energy, where you're trying to hold something together or hold on to something, and you don't want to let go because you don't want to lose, you know, what you've put the effort into and everything. But at the end of the day, it's like makes it really hard for you to like grow and thrive when you won't let go of soils that are already A, washing away, so they're partly not there, and B, some of them are probably like pretty what's the word, like not depreciated, you know, there's like a level of like deficit or something. I can't think of the word I'm looking for, but anyway. So I feel like for a lot of you that a situation like that has actually led you to like that's like being the catalyst for this having a dream or wanting a greater connection with spirit or something like that. And that maybe for some of you, that's where the healer energy comes in. And for others of you, you always had the healer energy, and it was like other people trying to come in and take is sort of what's gotten you to this point as well. But the point out of all of this, it's kind of like I'm kind of getting Tower card vibes without the Tower card actually coming out. But it's kind of like that whole thing of like, you've got to let it fall. Any holding on and trying to keep it together at this point would probably just be like extra stress and energy and worry and getting yourself worked up that you're like trying to hold on to something that's out of your control. Okay, so it might actually just be better for you to genuinely just like, if it falls, let it fall. And like, you'll fall too, but you'll land and you'll catch yourself and you'll dust yourself off and you'll get back to work and you'll rebuild and you'll know the best way how. You'll be really good at it. Okay, so we'll take another card, see what else we can get here. For some of you, you may be like cloaking who you really are instead of letting who you are, like instead of showing other people who you are. And I wonder, it's giving me like Aquarius vibes. I wonder if it's because you feel like you are so different and that you do stand out like from the crowd in a big way, and you're not quite comfortable with that within yourself yet either. So that might be something else to be looking at here. But I want to point out though, like, you've got to see how beautiful she is, and that there's like a divine mysticism. There's like a reason people are attracted to different people and stuff, right? And not even just different people. It's not really what I'm trying to say. Like, there's a unique beauty to everyone, and it just wouldn't be beauty if we were all the same. Do you know what I mean? And the way that you carry yourself is going to be part of that. And being comfortable with yourself and in your skin is going, not in your skin, but like with who you are as a person. That's going to be a big part of that. There's like a message here of trying to manifest something more than what you have, because you're just starting out in something, but like maybe not realizing what you do already have. And it's that thing of like, if you looked at what you had and were really grateful for it, you would manifest without trying, without even realizing. So it's like almost one of those things of like an energy of like trying too hard. Like, part of it's like maybe a bit of an experience, or maybe starting out in something, or maybe like being really attached to an outcome here. Okay. Yeah. Maybe for some of you, the outcome is like happiness and freedom and release or relief from these people and these situations that have been playing out in life. There's like a need to be really still and really quiet now, or like right now. If that's something that you resonate with, then I highly recommend maybe finding like a quiet spot as soon as you have time, or you know, obviously if you have kids or something, that can be a bit challenging at times, but if what you have to do is like go pretend to go to the toilet and close the door and just like close your eyes and take a breath, if that's what you have to do to make it happen, that's what you have to do to make it happen. All right. Anyway, some of you could be parents, right? Yeah. I mean, a lot of people are, but maybe you're at work. Maybe it's not about being a parent. Maybe you're at work and you just need to take that moment to like really, yeah, anyway. That's weird because that went from like a message that was more like trying to encourage you to meditate to, no, we're just going to like stop and take a few deep breaths and that'll help ground us in the moment. So that could be really helpful for you, especially if you have an important job. I think like if you you don't have to be like the CEO of a company or anything to have an important job. You could just be a parent. Like that's still a very important job, right? There's things that you got to be looking after, like the mental load that you carry and organizing things and making sure things are running on time as they should be, making sure everyone's getting what they need and doing what they need to be doing. You know, that could look like so many different things. You could just be a person that does a lot for your extended family, even if it's not about kids. You could be a person that, like, I don't know, maybe for some of you work in like a college or a school or something like that. And others of you may have some type of like management position within like the work that you do or something, or you're like directing a team in some way. There's, yeah. Anyway. I wonder for some of you if this is something that like catches you on the back foot sometimes and you're not really sure what to do in those moments. You might find yourself feeling like a little bit nervous or doubting yourself. And I think it's a time where it's like a message of, if you're ever going to embody that fire, that like, I don't know, yeah. What are we trying to say? I think there's like a strong message to trust yourself and know that you're in the position that you're in for a reason, as in like you were kind of chosen, you were put there. And it doesn't matter what that looks like. Like, it doesn't matter if you think that you've gotten there by chance or by default or something like that. The universe has still given you that role, okay? It's still important. They wouldn't have put you there if there wasn't a reason for it, okay? I think when you embody this, like, taking charge energy, I was getting a message, think about anything you do, I'll do, we will all do. So it's like, for some people, they might just really need to see you step up into your power and really take charge and just grab something by the horns and just go. Try to be careful not to burn people, but I don't feel like you would. I feel like you're pretty respectful. I feel like you've got, you know where the line is, which is actually probably one of the best things because I don't think a lot of people do, so that's good. I feel like you probably have confidence in where the line is, and if you don't, you will over time. You just got to trust yourself more and you just got to give it a go. I'm sort of getting something about like ignore the hater vibes, which brings me to time to pull a different card. Yeah, I don't know, that's really weird because I don't really feel like it's about competition. I just feel like it would just be like people just like being nitpicky or whinging for the sake of it. This reading's really taken a turn here. Look, I did get interrupted, but I feel like the messages are still valid, but it's like, I don't know if there's like a second group or if it's just touching on different areas of your lives. I'd love to know if you would like to let us know. Oh, I'm just gonna lose every card. For some of you, there's like a real power in this whole standing out from the crowd, being the healer and embodying that identity. Whether that's weird to other people or not doesn't matter. Like, maybe they're the ones used to being the ones like in charge and saying what goes and what doesn't and what's normal and what everyone needs to be doing. But so maybe there's like this weird thing here happening, like a contrast or a contradiction, where maybe you used to listen to them and maybe, you know, you're stepping outside of like the realm of what they want you to do, and it kind of, you know, Aquarius can sort of sometimes have, you don't have to be Aquarius, like you could have strong Aquarius placements in your chart, or just like any Aquarius, but you could just be embodying Aquarius energy at this time. Like Aquarius can reject stuff. Like Aquarius can very much have their own ideas of, you know, like, not only are you your own person, you're a unique individual who is crafting your own identity based off of what, like, authenticity is really what it's like about, okay? And sometimes that means that you do stand apart from the crowd, whether it makes you popular or not, whether it is due to unpopular opinions, not the point. But it can be confronting for other people, because you're kind of the person saying, well, I'm doing this a different way. And, you know, sometimes that can catch people in a way where they might take it personally, thinking that you're trying to say because you're doing it a different way means that their way is wrong. It's not the case at all. That's their own inner reflections. And there's nothing stopping you from doing this, and you don't need to make people comfortable. Like, you know, it's not your responsibility, especially when you're not doing anything hurtful or anything that, like, you know, affects or bothers other, like, you know, it's not a thing. And especially like with the connection that you have, whether you recognize it or not, there's some innate wisdom to your being that you've got to trust. There's always going to be people that don't understand things outside of the level of what they see. Maybe for some of you, the person or situation that you're dealing with has a lot of that, like, real fiery Emperor energy, and it comes from a place of feeling like they need to defend themselves in some way, like an insecurity. Photo proof, getting evidence. I do want to show you, if you can see, she actually has like the little snake tattoo on her arm there. Some of these people, until they see it for themselves, aren't going to believe it. I think we want one more of these. Maybe for some of you, that's the same feeling that you have about yourself. Like, you're not going to believe it until you see it. Maybe like the cycles that life has taken you through has left you feeling like that. Yeah, that's what we want. Moves in silence, looking you up, researching you, studying you, getting info. Some of you, there's like people here that just flat out don't understand you, and I feel like they might, you know, maybe they sense this like Aquarian energy and they're not sure what to think about it, so they're kind of like trying to check you out without, you know, making it like a big deal, or without drawing attention to the fact that they are. Because there's something here that they like don't understand or they don't trust. There's something else here though, because they've got photo proof, looking you up, and moves in silence. There's some shady energy. I wonder if some of you are going to like court hearings or something. left feeling like defenseless, but like being full of that rage because of the situation that you were put in. And there's, I don't know. We're just going to take one more moment, like, to look through each individual card and see if we get any last messages before I close this out, because I feel like it's sort of left just like hanging in the air, like we're not really getting where we need to go with it. I'm getting anything that you know, I know too. Anything that you do, I do too. Anything that you see, I see through. So there's, I don't know, it's weird. It's like definitely that energy of someone paying attention to you and copying the same moves that you make or something like that. I don't know. It's a bit weird. It's like a mirroring. Yeah. Okay. It still doesn't make sense. Let's go. This group, you're definitely the star at the moment. Like, I don't know, even if you don't resonate with the whole Aquarian thing and standing out from the crowd, there's definitely like a level of like people being attracted to you, or I don't know, getting a lot of attention. And like, I think the key will be to try to stay grounded throughout that whole process. And then I just got the question of like, how do you stay grounded when they're coming at you from like every angle? So for some of you may be dealing with like well and truly more than like one person or one circumstance. That's really difficult. Or I don't know, multiple snakes. But if you can find ways to stay grounded, that'll be like, you know, what ultimately gets you through and really improves your chances on like being that fulfillment for yourself and finding it within. I think you're more than capable. This seems like it would be like a really hard life experience, but for, you know, your soul in the universe, it's like a walk in the park, right? So like, you've been here and done this before and you've got it in the bag, you just don't know you do because you've forgotten. Or you don't, I don't know, you know, you've gone through that like human experience. For some of you, there's a person that's offering help when you feel like your chips are down, and I feel like it helps empower you. I'm definitely getting like a sense of the Justice card or something here hanging in the balance. Like, there's not, I wonder if you're left without an outcome for something that you wanted for a long time. So like something's not getting resolved, or it does get resolved and it does empower you. I don't know, or even if it's not, like maybe it does get resolved and it's not what you wanted and it leaves you like feeling really like burnt and scorned and all of that. For some of you, you need to start wearing like a protective like amulet or stone or something like that. It doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter if it's a crystal, a symbol, anything that you see or feel or are guided towards or are drawn towards. Black crystals can be good ones for that. I think, I don't know what else. There's a lot of things, but it doesn't matter what it is, as long as you feel like it's protective, then that should do the trick. Pentagram could be another good one. There's actually, I have one to show you. It's the same as, that's what it is, but it's the same as this little necklace. This is such a weird necklace, hold on. I love it, but okay. This was never a thing for me before, okay? It's literally like a, spirit says it's my thing, apparently. You love when you get dictated to. Anyway, so that's what we're talking about. But I think this protective amulet's going to not only help you like through all of your situations, because I feel like you are at a particularly vulnerable time in life or stage in life. For some of you, I feel like you're at like an early stage of something happening where it's like your skin's a lot softer or newer or fresher or something. In that no matter what the outcome is here, this necklace is going to be important. And it needs to be a necklace. Like, it can't be earrings, it can't be a ring, it can't be a tattoo. You can do any and every protective thing that you want, but you need one that's a necklace or one that's around the heart. For some of you, hematite could be like a really good one. It's almost got like a chrome type finish. And for some of you, a bag of dirt or a bag of like certain herbs. Rosemary can be like a really good protective one. I know like different people have different things that work for them. Rosemary is one that I love for me, but I know, you know, you might have your own things that you're drawn to or that you already feel work for you. So yeah, something like that. And making sure you keep your energy clear, like using some sort of smudging or something, burning. Yeah, could be like incense, sage, Palo Santo, mugwort, any of the things. As long as you do it in a safe way, then it's fine. I feel like this whole moves in silence thing, part of it could be like getting you to move in silence, because it's like getting you to be quiet or tone it down and wear protective necklace and stuff so that you sort of fly under the radar. Yeah, that's what it is. It's like, this is like a heads up more. Like for some of you, it could be like there is someone keeping an eye on you and they're obviously not going to draw attention to it. Okay. All right. Group 1. This was a bit of a, like, I don't know how helpful. Not even how helpful. This is just not really seemed to come to like a particular conclusion, but maybe there's been groups within groups here, or just a bunch of like separate messages that needed to come out. So hopefully it actually has been helpful for you and resonates. Definitely let me know in the comments, and yeah, I'll see you all in another reading. Thanks. Hey group 2, I had a bit of an impromptu like interruption in today's reading, and as I was going where I needed to, I was getting some pretty heavy, hectic, a little bit nostalgic, I don't know, I just want to say like deep energy, where I was listening to a song. I'll list it under group 2. It's called Asphalt Dog. I can't remember who sings it. And it was like one of the weirdest things. It's like, I felt like that song like touches like the depths of like my heart or my soul or my being. There's definitely like an undertone to it that people don't see about your experience. And it's funny, of all the places that I had to stop, I didn't have to stop at, but I had 5 minutes before where I'm going, like a little bit of time to kill, and it ended up being the beach where I was at, and I didn't even try, but I thought this is like a really good spot to pull over, and it's kind of like the perfect spot to actually, I guess, have as part of this message. I'm right next to a road, so there's a lot of cars and stuff going by, but
you know, and like look at the sky, like it's just cloudy and it almost looks like it's not stormy yet, but it's like it's just overcast, and whether there has been stormy weather or there's going to be stormy weather, it doesn't even matter. It's sort of like that overcast on undertone, and there's, I don't know, there's a lot that people don't see below the surface. So anyway, aside from that, maybe a message to do a bit of grounding, get out in nature where you can, clearing as well, but mostly grounding here. I just want to give you a hug. But anyway, I'll leave you to it, and when I finish getting the rest of Group 2's cards up, I'll insert this somewhere into your reading and see how you go.
Hey, welcome Group 2 to today's reading. Today's reading will be a general reading, just like whatever we have come through. It's been a minute, so I hope that you're all well. If you chose the Village card, or sorry, I guess the card was upside down, you wouldn't have seen what card it was actually before, but if you chose the middle card out of the 3 groups, with the Polychrome Jasper, the Mookaite Jasper, Pistachio Calcite, and the blue Apatite, then this is actually your reading for today. Okay, so before we get started, I feel really called to talk about the weather, because the weather has actually been, where I am at the moment, it's kind of like a storm's brewing, but it's kind of like at the same time a storm is brewing. It's like the calm before the storm, and there's something to be said about the energy in it, because it's not like a typical way that I feel about every storm, so there's something different about this one. And it's kind of like, I guess it's more about the energy itself. So my heart is open. There's an extra level of connectedness with the earth, which is fantastic, and the universe. And I had lots of energy, and I don't know why I've been called to talk about it, but I felt like I was actually grounded, like I was actually embodied in my own body for once, so that's nice. And when I had so much more energy than when I wasn't. And it's bizarre, because sometimes when I am grounded, I actually slow right down, because I'm not used to being in my body, but it was actually amazing. I had heaps of energy. Yeah, anyway. So why I was talking about it is because, I know it's a bit of a weird thing. So like, I used to do yoga sometimes, and there was like that typical yogi squat where people hold their hands together in like a prayer position in the front of their heart, and that seemed to be like really connecting me in with the earth a lot. So I don't know if that's something some of you feel called to do. By all means, I think it would be helpful. Okay, moving on. Anyway, so the first thing is, don't even feel called to read this card. I want to actually read from the book on it. So the Village. For some of you may have like recently been climbing like an uphill battle, or maybe you've just hit the peak, or the peak's inside, or something like that. Like, I feel like it's been like a kind of treacherous journey, for the lack of a better word. So hopefully that resonates. It all exists on a gradient, right? So not everyone's journey will have been treacherous. Maybe it was just a bit rough. So keeping in mind this is a general reading, it's not the same as a personal reading. And what are we looking for, the Village? Don't make anything fit your situation. You just, like, you know, take what, like, I guess what I'm trying to say is, you're not trying to make it fit your situation. We're really just like using it as confirmation for our own deeper knowing anyway. What is going on? For some of you, you may have been having trouble with finding the answers for something as well. And I think the Village was supposed to be the people in your mind, or they were supposed to be the people that were going to help you with the answers, or had answers for you, and they didn't. Yeah, I'm getting something about burning a village down as well. So for some of you, I think that they may leave you feeling like that's what you should do. Obviously not condoning anything here, right? That's, what were you looking for? I'm going to have to go to the index. This is, I don't think I've ever taken so long to bloody find a page I'm looking for ever. Usually they just sort of like pop open on the page that you're looking for and you don't even try, and it's just comes out pretty quickly. And maybe I should look at the numerals. What do we got? Excel's not too fun. I'm hoping everyone's been doing well, because I haven't actually, like, I guess I didn't get to start group 2 yet. I ended up getting interrupted and having to go for a drive, and when I was going for a drive I had 5 minutes to kill, and I pulled over at like a beach, and I'll actually end up inserting the scene maybe at the end of the group, or if somewhere else if I feel necessary, wherever I feel necessary. Anyway, and the energy of what I was pulling in was actually pretty hectic. And like, when I say hectic, I mean like intense, deep emotions. It was very heavy is what it was. I'm getting goosebumps now talking about it. Anyway, and it was kind of like, here's the village. All right, so that was what I was meant to tell you about, because I would have forgotten otherwise. Okay, so the village, the hometown, the family tribe. I don't know if some of you have had your hometowns like really significant here. Okay, so the village presents us with a conundrum. On one hand, it's the place that feels most like home, the place to which you can always return. Nostalgia and comfort draw us back. On the other hand, it's the very place you must leave in order to grow. Around the village, an unspoken boundary exists, one most villagers do not want you to cross. Though some support your leaving, still you hear whispers of doubt as you venture beyond its borders, leaving them behind. The energy of the village is present anytime we feel restricted by a certain group, community, family, place, or ideology. It may have served us in the past, yet staying within its parameters will never satiate our thirst for life. Thank the village for all it has provided, knowing you will someday return. For now, the world awaits. The village moves with you, as it is more of a mindset than a physical place. Returning to the village is as important as leaving it. This can be thought of as a completion or an integration of what you learn out in the wild. I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but I'll put it out there. For some of you, if you recognize the name, it might be something worthwhile looking into. I might actually hold it up to the camera and just see if we can get that. Right here for the go deeper. So Haruki Murakami must be the author. Hard-Boiled Wonderland and the End of the World. I think that's how it's pronounced, but yeah. Okay, so before I get started too much into it, it's worthwhile noting that I take this journey with you, or a similar journey, and what I will get come through for you will sometimes be like a message to myself as well. And if I can talk a little bit about like experiencing this full circle here that they've actually highlighted on the card. At some point we need to, exactly what the book said, like go out, leave the village, you know, go through our own part of life, and then complete the circle and come home. And this doesn't have to be a physical place like the book said. It could be like, I don't know, it could be like just coming home to family, even if you live in a different place, or, I mean, I don't know, it doesn't, whatever it is for you. For some of you, it'll just be like an internal thing, I guess. But sometimes I feel called to sort of talk about when we go out into the world, there will be certain lessons that we need to learn. And with these certain lessons, they will often continue to repeat and show up in our external world until the lesson has been learnt. and I'm at a bit of a crossroads at the moment where I'm not sure if I've been put in a position to return to my village to confront the original lesson, because I've actually succeeded in learning that lesson outside of the village, and so now it's time to like return home to like put it to practice, or to, you know, maybe before was like a test or something and this is like the real thing. I don't really know. I think it'll be different for everyone, but yeah, I think that's the point there. Take from it what you will anyway. So I'm just going to take a moment and see if I can get anything else come through with this card. I was getting something about extra large, but I think it's in a point like in reference of like anything you do in life is like extra large. So maybe you're the people that when you do something you go all out. But anyway. Okay, so for the stones, so we had the Mookaite Jasper, Polychrome Jasper, Blue Apatite, and Pistachio Calcite. So I think this returning to the village in whatever way it shows up could probably be pretty confronting, not only to your own sense of belonging. It's like an insecurity within your place within the world. And that was something that I had slightly similar to group 1. If any of you felt drawn to it, it might be worthwhile going and listening back. For some of you, there's something here about lava. So if some of you haven't really found something that works for you for grounding yet, finding some sort of like lava stones might actually be really helpful for you, or stones that have like the really deep red and oranges. I know that's easy to come by in Australia, and not everywhere is going to have you know, dirt, rocks, stones, or any whatever that's the same color. That's easy to come by. But actually, while I've got these, I might hold them up to the camera and show you so you can see. The lighting's not the best, but hopefully you can see enough. So that's the Mookaite Jasper in my left hand, and this is the Polychrome Jasper, maybe here. It's not going to do it justice. It's such a beautiful stone. There's like a lot of depth to it. But anyway, that's enough that you can get the picture. This is the Blue Apatite. This is a good one if you can get more light on it. Okay, maybe not, but that's all right. Like it is a deeper, darker. Oh yeah, that's a bit better. Cool. Anyway. And then this is the Pistachio Calcite. Absolutely love it. So for some of you, I feel like there's something here about your authenticity, being yourself. There's like a depth to your personality that I think you probably don't put on display readily available for a lot of people, because it's a lot of people, like, let's be real, a lot of people don't like being or going deep, and they maybe it's like confronting for them within themselves, and so when it shows up in another person, it is really confronting and they don't want to actually deal with it. And so for those of us that are normally like deeper, it can be a little bit isolating, right? So staying grounded, expressing ourselves, being ourselves, and trusting that like there's a depth to you for a reason, and most beautiful things have depths like the ocean, right? And funny how that place where I pulled up for that like impromptu kill time message, when I was already connecting to the energy before the reading, was actually at a beach. So and then I don't want to put this one down, there's something else here. Maybe if any of you regularly work with crystals or are interested in it, the Blue Apatite might be a good one for you. It can look different depending on the form that you get. I've got a rough piece that I'll grab and show you. Okay, so they're both Blue Apatite. Obviously there's a polished tumble and a rougher tumble that's not so smooth, but yeah. Okay, anyway, now the Pistachio Calcite, for some of you it's going to be like kind of like a calming clearing. grounding, but maybe not as grounding as it is calming and clearing, because it's kind of, these are both like going to the beach, right? So you've got your depths of the ocean, and you've got being in the salt water, in the surf, and I don't know, cleansing and clearing your energy. So if you have a beach available, that would probably be really helpful for you. Something else with the Mookaite that I haven't reached yet. Let's just see. Maybe not yet. We'll keep going anyway. Okay. So we'll take some cards and start with one of these. I do think that like nostalgia and sentimental things are probably really important for this group. Oh, let's take these. What do we got? Look, I don't really want to connect to this energy, and I don't think it's yours that I'm referring to, but other people around you at some point. People just like playing dirty, coming from a place of like ego, defense, and it's just like when it all comes down to it, it's how things played out, which is probably what set the village on fire to begin with, right? Let's have a look at this. They're just saying that you have to keep both feet on the ground for this one, so I'm not sure if this is like a grounding reference or if there's more to it, like a message. Burying yourself beneath the surface for these people will never be enough, or will never be enough for these people. The most heroic or courageous thing you can do is like crawl your way out and let yourself be seen by the light of day. Uncover yourself, uncover the truth, uncover your surroundings. I wonder for some of you if there are people trying to keep you out of the village. Like they just want to keep you at bay because they really like it when you're not around to get attention or the spoils of something, or I don't know if there's some sort of like sibling manipulation here. Take it or leave it. Don't make it fit if it's just only if it applies to your situation already. So I'm getting some sort of weird message about like broken lace will like fray over time. So it's kind of like some sort of unresolved issue or broken connection will literally just get worse and worse over time. Like there's no real repairing it. I'm also getting something about someone wants to keep you in the dark. I'm not sure if it's because they think that you ain't shit, or if it's because that's the attitude that you have to embody or have had to embody with them in the past because of the way that they have carried themselves or treated you or something. But there's also like there's a difference here in things, the way that they actually played out and the things that they're saying that you did. I think this person would try to use fear-mongering, and the reality of how a situation plays out is very different. And you'll probably build confidence every time you go out and do things without listening to this person or these people. This might not be family, it might just be like the village could be like community or people you grew up with or people that you live in the same town with, or, you know, any of those things. Just apply it however, you know, I feel compelled now to list all the situations that it could be, and I'm sure I'll still miss one, but even if you moved away, could be the people that you grew up with. Even if it's like, you know, current friend circles or old friend circles. So, okay, so it could be like friends, family, community, people you went to school with, people that you worked with. The village, it's like the people that exist in the day-to-day. They're asking who else makes a village. So, what have we got? I'm missing something here, and I feel like they count on undermining your confidence in a way that you don't know. It's not like an over obvious thing that they do. They'll use like a fear mongering to undermine your confidence so that you don't, you know, like compete in some way or outshine them in some way or something like that. And it's sort of like their version of like playing dirty or something like that, and it didn't need to be like that. For some of you, it's like maybe when you left the village, it's because it was on fire. For some of you, maybe you set it on fire, not literally, right? I don't know, maybe. Hopefully not. And for some of you, when you come home, it's a fire. And then it's kind of like that reminiscent thing of like, oh, that's what this place was like again. I just feel called to ground really quickly. Like, I think we talked about it in the last video. All of my videos are timeless though, by the way. My pick a card readings on YouTube. So if you feel called to, you can go back and watch them. But essential oils can be grounding if you get the right ones for you. Okay, moving on. Do you know what it is? This person counts on you not feeling like you belong, and they count on you not feeling confident or secure within your position within the village or the community, because they know that ultimately you like take out the competition. And I guess I don't know if they are competition, but I feel like they see you like that whether you are or not. I don't think this is the thing, I don't think you'd even ever try to compete. I feel like you're just running your own race. Okay, so that's what I've got there. Let's move on to the next thing. For some of you, I feel like something really tragic happened. For some of you, so anyone that isn't acquainted with it, there's like a figure of speech about like the tall poppy, and it's something in Australia that I think is pretty common, at least anyway. And it's kind of like people will cut the tallest poppy so it doesn't overshadow the ones underneath it that aren't as tall. So there's a real thing where people will do it to each other or even themselves so that they don't stand out. And so if you were to undercut yourself so that you weren't the tallest poppy, it would be because you wouldn't want to draw attention, because there would be a lot of people that wouldn't be happy for anyone to have that position other than themselves. So they would like make a concerted effort to sort of put you down or tear you down in the ways that they can or see fit. And then, you know, it can go the other way around where, yeah, if you don't do it to yourself, it's, I guess, other people will do it to you. So it's a real thing where a lot of people keep themselves short and stuck because of it. And a lot of people are like ready to tear a person down. And I feel like that dynamic is what we're seeing here. Okay, anyway. But I feel like you guys recognize this and you're like, I'm not keeping this company and I'm taking out the trash. Like, it's time to, you know, cut this out of my life and move on with it. Maybe not even cut it out, just like, just stop investing in it. I think that's what it is. I think maybe you heavily invested in a lot of these people, like communities, for a long time, whatever your village is. And like, when you finally decide that it's no longer fulfilling, and even if you have to start again, it would be much more fulfilling for you to like invest your energy, time, attention, you know, all those things, support, nurturing and everything, like your emotional investment into something else, then I feel like it serves you really well. You actually are able to like cut ties with all the crap. You're not putting up with drama. People know that you're not. You're severing those really draining connections. You're severing a lot of evil eye because you separate yourself out from the group, and you've got really good boundaries in place. And I feel like you're kind of protected just from that one act. It's like making that call to invest in yourself or other areas of your life does so much for you that you looking after you quite literally turns out to be a protection on its own. Like, you don't even have to do anything outside of that, making that call. Okay, I feel like we want to take a few more cards. What are we going to do though? Okay. There we go. Okay. So we have pleasure and self-trust. Self-trust, like, makes sense to me straight away, like, because it would probably take a bit of self-trust to like really commit or execute this, or like commit to, you know, walking away from certain things. Maybe realizing like how much more pleasure in life there is when you're actually able to do that. Like, when these people, these situations and, you know, all of that aren't taking up your energy anymore, you probably find that you enjoy life a whole heap more. I feel like some of these people will really play on pleasure and they'll try to get you in weak moments or use it as like a manipulative thing, like a tactic. But ultimately, at the end of the day, you know that like the truth stands strongest in you, like you don't undercut yourself. Some of these people will try to use compliments as a way to like butter you up, like make you feel good about yourself, say that you like them or something like that. And if it's not that, they'll try to talk about like how good they are as a way to undermine your confidence. So it's like a real backhanded thing here. I don't know. I feel like if that was happening though, you would know it's happening, or you'd be, just from thinking about it, you'd probably be able to place someone. So if that's not something that resonates with you, it might be part of the message to just leave behind. But yeah. Look, I feel like there's some other stuff that's sort of happened here that's a lot worse. Like, not a lot worse. I mean, it's not a competition, right? But I feel like there's a lot more to this story below the surface, and we're not getting told the whole story. And I reckon it might be like these people not telling the whole story, and they know, and they were there, and they seen it, and they're purposely not telling the whole story. And maybe some of them got some sort of offer to not tell the whole story, and maybe, I don't know. Okay, here we go. This is me. Careful. Okay. Like depression, mental anguish, like absolute like stress. I don't know why I was hearing something about like strategy and love, but I don't understand that. So now I've put it out there. Maybe you do. you know, something happening to really, you know, let all the falsities fall away. Like, let it all come crumbling down, because it wasn't right, true, or good. And deciding what it is that you want in life, to go after it, and try not to hold on to the past, trying to like let go. You know, sometimes when we get burnt enough times, we can become quite guarded or distrusting, and it doesn't ultimately serve us. It's yeah. Anything else? Yeah, for some of you there might have been like a loss of a relationship, but I think at this point it feels pretty self-explanatory. So look, I've got to be real with you guys. Like, the energy that I was picking up on when I was at the beach earlier was like very intense, very deep, very nostalgic, very heavy, very, very heavy, and I'm not getting it now. So before I started the reading, I did do like a quick Palo Santo just to help clear anything up. Like, I did ground myself beforehand as well, so that might be things that would be helpful for you. Just make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Okay, well, group 2, this is everything that I have for you, so hopefully this resonated. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you all in another video. Okay, welcome group 3 to today's general reading. If you chose the Alethea card, then this is your reading. We have a few different crystals here. I couldn't remember if this was like chrysoprase or aquamarine. I have a funny feeling it's aquamarine. Anyway, we also have peach moonstone, Caribbean calcite, green calcite, and the blue onyx. So we're just going to take a moment to take a couple of breaths and really feel into the energy. Okay, so I feel like some of you need to find like some sort of like peaceful, secluded, nature-filled area. Look, if you have a backyard that has some like really beautiful trees and it's just quiet and there's no one at home, and you can go sit outside and you can hear maybe the leaves of the trees sort of rustling a little bit when there's a breeze or wind or something, that might be enough. But I definitely feel like this group needs to reconnect with nature in some capacity. Now, to talk about these stones really quickly, so just they all make me think of the beach anyway, and the vision that I was getting was like seeing palm tree leaves sort of like swaying in the wind or rustling in the wind. And there's a few elements going on here where there's like some throat chakra stuff, making sure that we're grounded and connected to the actual earth. So that's what that nature setting will be. The throat chakra stuff, I want to say it's not like learning to speak up. It's like giving yourself the space to be able to speak. It's like, you know, some people are just really shy and they don't really want to say anything. Some people really struggle to be authentic. I feel like this group, you do speak up, you are authentic. I don't feel like you even need toning down. I feel like you need to allow yourself to take up space to be able to do that. And it's like allowing yourself, it's almost like a heart-centered sort of expression as well, where it's kind of like emotional vulnerability topped with compassion and topped with like a solid, sturdy connection to the earth. Yeah. Okay. All right, so moving on to the Alethea card. So I'm going to read from the book on this, but basically it's about truth, and that rings true with like that authenticity. There's something to be said about the truth. I'm going to read from the book, and we'll just, if I'm missing anything that the book hasn't said, then we'll I don't know, the book will catch it or we'll get it later on. So I'm hoping everyone's doing well. It's been a minute. I do think my videos will probably continue to be a little bit inconsistent for a while, just because my circumstances are inconsistent at this point in time. But hopefully over the next month we'll start to get a little bit more consistency, and then we can go from there. But anyway, at least we're getting a video out at the moment. Now, doing the tea and salt offering. It's going to be like right at the back. Here we go. Okay. Our soul recognizes the truth. When someone speaks it, a cool wave of relief washes over the room, and all the facts and figures in the world fall by the wayside. Such is the power of Aletheia. It has an undeniable resonance that goes beyond the rational. We can also recognize Aletheia by its contagiousness. When we hear someone speak the truth, we see the truth within ourselves and are more likely to tell our own story. The Aletheia card requires us to step toward an act of truth, and this might look like a conversation, a gesture, a poetic act, or a ritual that honors the unveiling of what's being concealed. Reclaiming your own truth is a way to reclaim your vital energy, health, and sense of belonging in the world. Truth has its own wings. Set it free. For some of you, maybe you are like withholding in your authenticity or like your own truth. So maybe it's like you can be yourself, but you're still not really speaking your own truth on some particular situation. And I want to let you know that when you do it, you also give other people permission to do it, okay? Picasso said, we all know that art is not truth. Art is the lie that makes us realize truth. At least the truth is given to us to understand. It is said that the resonance of our voice changes when we speak a falsity. In this light, practicing truth as a vibration. Yeah, okay. I want to let you know that for some of you, it's like a case of upholding the truth when other people project onto you, okay? All right, that's all we need from that card, so let's move on. I just want to say for some of you, like salt water would be amazing. So whether you can go to the beach, whether you end up just, you know, getting some salt and mixing it in water, I'm not really sure. It's like really, really important. I wonder if for some of you, if you're like going into a relationship, or it's, I don't know if you're like fantasizing about someone, or if you're actually in a relationship already, there's definitely something here about a person. And I think that there's an element here of like bad habits, whether they're current or have existed in the past, where there's not been any light shed on them. And I'm not sure if this is with you to them or them to you. I'm not sure what way this flows. We know that love is important to, if not one, both of you, in that the feeling is very mutual, that you're definitely both very into each other. I do wonder at this point whether whatever this is, if it progresses or something, ends up leading to a place where you both fall back into bad habits, or if it's a case that people just haven't been honest about the bad habits that exist. And that being said, you know, people will find out at some stage anyway. Can't hide things like that for too long. I get a particular feeling from most people that it probably is drugs. But I mean, there can be a lot of other things that it is. It doesn't have to be drugs by any means. So, like addictions, actually. Do you know what it is? It's the energy of addiction. It's not even... It doesn't have to be drugs. All right, so I've just got a few that have popped out here. Yeah, this person's keeping a secret. I don't know if it's you or them, but someone is. Anyway, fake smiles. Thief. What's that? Robs, loss, theft, physical, emotional. I just It's really weird because the card says thief, but I just get the energy of pretending. Legal issues. Oh, maybe they really are a thief. But they might not be a quite literal thief. It could be as simple as they've like stolen your heart or stolen your opportunity to make an informed decision about the situation going forward. Maybe they've stolen your ability to read the situation for what it is, as they wear like fake smiles, and there might be a few different things going on in the background, contentious issues, and yeah, I think what you need to be doing is making sure you're dodging bullets. It's really weird, but because I wonder if that's a lot of what this person's trying to do, and you're unfazed. Is someone broke? What is this? Okay, so this is a person in your life. Yeah, they like you, they love you, they're into you, they fantasize about you. They've got bad habits that they're doing behind the scenes, and they're pretending like nothing's going on. There's definitely some underhanded stuff that's happening that shouldn't be, and I think they're going to be held accountable for it, and if they aren't down the line, they probably already have been. And I don't know, unless they manage to dodge it, but I feel like they're 100% trying to dodge it no matter what. Anyway, so like the truth is coming out. You seem unfazed by it. So I wonder, for some of you, is this like an ex or something, and you're in fact unfazed because you're like, been there, done that, see what you're doing, whatever, not sure. Maybe they're trying to steal something from you. Maybe the thief and the legal issues are separate. I mean, like, you know your own story better than anyone, and this is just a general reading. It's very different to a private personal reading. What I get, these two go hand in hand. The truth and you being unfazed go hand in hand. Maybe for some of you, look, here's the thing. I don't feel anxious. I don't feel nervous. I feel pretty comfortable and confident in what I know. And this just looks like stuff I don't want in my life. It just looks like, I don't know, extra problems that I don't need. So maybe this is how you feel. I don't know, for some of you, like, the energy could be flipped. Like, this could be, you know, you going through this and this is your person on the other side, but I really don't think it is. For some of you, you may have been married to this person or held some sort of like relationship, like a significant relationship with them, or they were a significant other to you at some point, if they aren't now. And look, if you're in like a happy, healthy, committed relationship, this just may not be the reading for you. Maybe one of the other groups may resonate better. I feel like you already know, which is why you're unfazed, okay? So if that helps clear up any confusion there, let that lead the way. Yeah, what else do we have? Okay, so we're going to take some tarot cards. It's weird. It's just like you're very calm and grounded, and this person is like the opposite. They're definitely going to be held accountable for something here. And if they're not being held accountable in like a legal sense, I think people know about something that they've done, and these people are like waiting and watching for the outcome here. For some of you, may be seeking therapy around whatever has actually happened. And it will be really good and grounding for you. You'll probably get a lot of stability and security through just that practice of like talk therapy of whatever therapy you choose, doesn't matter. Anyway, and if anything, it's just going to strengthen your connection with the divine and your intuition. It'll help you trust. I think there's probably been things throughout this. Maybe that's what it is, right? Like, this person still seems like they're still trying to hide things from you, but you actually seem like you already know. Maybe you're my group that has good intuition, and you in fact do actually already know, and that's why you're not phased, or it's like confirmation for you. So it's like maybe you've just been waiting to see if it actually happens or not. And the reality of the situation is that you'll feel like this is not your first rodeo. You won't hang on to a connection that's going to be like this, even if it literally throws you into like a depression or an endless depression. Maybe you're already going through that. Maybe you've already been through that. For some of you, there's definitely kids involved. For some of you, your kids are going to be the thing that sort of, you know, helps bring you out of the depression or breaks up those little moments. And ultimately, like, I don't know, I don't know, I wonder if there's like some single parents going on in this group and maybe some separation and stuff. You don't have to be parents. There could still be like that energy of separation without children, and that maybe, I don't know, maybe you have like family that has kids that you can like, kids are great to like live in the moment and be spontaneous and just have fun and like focus on the present. So even if you don't have like little cousins or something you can like, you know, help look after or something like that, maybe you, I don't know, there's also pets there as well, right? Animals can be really comforting and in the ways that humans can't be, and really grounding as well. That's, animals can help you be in the present moment when not a lot of other things can. And even though I feel like you feel kind of scorned, like you don't really trust after that, you hold things really close to your chest. It's like a sense of like keeping people out through privacy. It's kind of like protecting yourself. It's kind of like the Scorpio thing. Yeah. I don't know if there's much more here I can say to this group 3, and I feel like you guys always get the short straw, like the short reading, but I know that I've also had readings for group 3 before that it's like you guys just don't have a lot of time. So I feel like for most of you, that's probably the bulk message out of the way. And I don't even know what the real message here is other than like, oh no, trust your discernment. You know, I feel like you know what's going on. You're well aware of it. You're going to cut through the crap anyway. You know that this is the thing with your level of like discernment and the experience that you've garnered in life. It's like, you know the difference between continuing like a toxic cycle or relationship that will have permanent effects on you for the rest of your life versus cutting it off now, dealing with what you have to, even if it means that you fall into a depression for a little while so that you can move on and be happy again at some stage, even if it leaves you a little bit more distrusting of people. I don't know, maybe we all end up that way. I'm not sure. I don't really want to be, it's not really my goal here is to make people feel hopeless. Hopefully you don't feel hopeless. I think that it's maybe you're scared it will feel like that for a while, but I think that at some stage it'll get better for sure. And that it won't always stay the same. It won't always be like that. And that if anything, you'll just probably remember. Maybe that's what it is. You move on with life and you actually get really happy and you're like, you know, not entrenched, but you're like really, you're just caught up in your own new happy life and you're just being in the present moment and loving it and living it. And every now and then you sort of have those thoughts where you look back to the past or the different, like, you know, stages of your life or lives that you've lived, and you're like, maybe you're like joining some of the dots, like connecting the dots and realizing different things at different times. Maybe it's just you can recognize certain traits in different people down the line. You know, people can't pull the wool over your eyes. That's what this is. It's like, trust your discernment. You know, if you were feeling unsure, which it's weird because I don't get that energy at all, but if you were feeling unsure, trust yourself. And I don't know, I feel like you are the truth, and you just, I don't know, for some of you I feel like you telling the truth is going to help set this straight, right? So I don't know, for some of you telling the truth here on whatever the situation is going to lead to you getting the life that you actually want as well. So, I mean, that in itself will be a message for people, but I think you know. I don't know why. I don't normally do pendulums, especially. I don't know, I use them for like, you know, energy clearing stuff rather than questions, but the rose quartz pendulum needed to come out, and I don't know if it's, we need to talk about rose quartz on one hand. One hand, it's because it's like unconditional love, which is like the same as animals, right? Like if you get like a dog, granted not all animals are made the same, we get that, but animals love you and they just, you know. Anyway, rose quartz loves you no matter what, and it might be something that you need a little bit of help with, is like softening because of some of the experiences in life, or just to help you feel supported during this time. And yeah, I think that's what it is. It's not about being a pendulum, it's about the type of stone, and it's like a really nice rose quartz as well. Let's see if I can hold it up a bit for you to see. Granted, it's like the same color as my hands. Fun fact of how I chose this crystal or this pendulum was because it was hanging in the shop window and moving on its own with no one around. Anyway, okay, I'm just going to take a moment to see if there's anything else we can get through. Okay, so the moon's going to be really important for some of you here. Maybe paying attention to the moon phases. I'm going to show you the moon because I actually don't know. Like, I know what they're sort of roughly called, but I don't know what one's what, whether it's like waning or waxing. You can see here it's a crescent moon. It's not always about the new moon and the full moon, although a lot of the times it can be. For some of you, it will be a full moon because of like how bright it is and the way I thought it was a full moon when I first looked at it. For others of you, it will really be about connecting with a crescent moon. So if we can, I might put it in next to the timestamp when I'm actually putting the title in for group 3. But that's everything that I have for you today, group 3. It was lovely to have you here. Let me know if it resonated, and I'll see you in another reading. Thanks.